Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins.
What's up, everybody? It's the Crypto Crow. It's about 6:45 Eastern Time, and about 15 minutes early. I had scheduled this initially for 7 o'clock, but I figured, what the hell? I'm down here, and my God, there's so much happening. I mean, so much happening. It's Tuesday, and it's Tuesday night, so Tuesday nights, I think my daughter has hip hop and then ballet, and then my stepson has drums, and my wife is just kind of running the kids around to their classes and the different stuff they do. And so I've just been grinding all day today. And, you know, there are a couple things I'm going to address. I'm going to get into, I'm going to get into a little bit about Bitcoin, where the price is, what's happening. I'm going to show you some trading view stuff. Different opinions on what's going on based off of other people's technical analysis, certainly not my own. Still don't trust any of that. I haven't even touched anything technical analysis related in quite a while now. I've just been too busy. And I'm going to go into crowsnestx.com, which is going to be my own exchange, people. I'm launching my own exchange. It's exciting. It's scary, but there's some interesting things related to that, as well as the Crow coin, which is coming, and so we're gonna go into some different stuff. Cincinnati, Ohio. What's up, Todd Dietering? How are you? I know I probably look a little flushed out because I had this really bright light. I look a little rough. I know I still have circles. I'm still going to sleep at 3 and 4 a.m., waking up at 10 or 11. It's been a rough ride, but so we took the kids to this new place. It's like a little club kind of thing, where you go, and like during the summer they just have a big public pool, and then they just opened up this thing with all these rides, not rides, but like rock climbing walls and just all kinds of stuff. And typically I'm not allowed to participate because I'm 7 foot tall, 295 pounds, and so I'm just too daggone big to do anything. But this place, they had these different contraptions. So they probably had they have like 6 different climbing walls of some sort. And one of these things was a series of steel tubes that it's hard to explain, but you step up, you basically have to climb these tubes, and that's it. There's no wall, there's nothing to help you. Although you have to wear a harness that's attached to one of those things that lets you down slowly, like, you know, the same thing they do with the rock climbing walls. And there's so many people that were doing this, and they were so scared because it gets really freaking high. I don't remember how many. I'm going to guess that there might be 10 tubes, and each one is higher than the next. There's one in the middle that's a little lower. I don't know how many of you guys know what I'm talking about. You still have your Batman makeup under your eyes. I know, my eyes are struggling. But anyway, I actually did it. I screwed my hand up. I have like a blister on because what happened was I was just pushing through I have a terrible fear of heights, as everybody knows. And it was kind of one of those things that I wanted to see if I could conquer my fear, and how high I could get in this thing. I really don't know how high. I probably could, maybe I could Google it, and there might be something out there like it. But it gets high. And you're basically standing on a post. I don't know, it might be this big around, maybe it might be maybe that big around. And so you're stepping from one to the next, and you're climbing from one to the other because some of them are a little further away and so forth. And I got all the way up to the second to the last one. I would not let myself look down. And I got to the second to the last one, and I looked down, and people look small. And keep in mind, you're just there. You've got this harness and a thing that lets you come down, but it's really uneasy feeling. And so I did it. I mean, I got to the second to the last one. Well, then I figured, well, I can either try to climb back down or I could just jump. And I'm like, I'm going to test this line because I was making jokes like, what's the weight limit? And they're like, oh, it should be about 330. I'm like, okay, well, we're going to find out right now. And so I jumped off. I dropped like a rock, man. Like, it did help me. Like, I didn't get hurt, but I came down so fast that I slammed into the things in front of me, and then I swung back and slammed into the ones behind me, and then by the third, I was on the floor. So that was some scary shit. So anyway, that's one thing I did recently. I conquered my fears, but I'll probably never do that again. Turns out, I guess the harness that I was in was too small for me. And so when I came down, my body flipped backwards, and I guess I wasn't supposed to do that. And then they offered to give me a much bigger harness, and I'm like, no, that's okay. That's a one-time thing, just to show the kids that I can do it too. So anyway, so Bitcoin right now is at 35.90, and it's we've seen some low candles here recently. At 35.45, looks like it was the low, the recent low, but up from down here. It was 33.55, so it's gone up a couple $100 over the past. How is this right? Oh, the 8th, yeah. So over the past like 5 days, it's gone up a bit. So, the big question everybody has is Bitcoin going to go lower, or have we already seen the bottom? I've been of the, a lot of the big TA guys online want to say, oh, it's going down more, which in the grand scheme of things, it's a lot easier to call a lower low during a bear market than it is to call a high, right? Like, oh no, it's going up to 4,200, 4,500. In a bear market, you're much more likely to be accurate by calling new lows. And nobody cares if you're wrong, because if it doesn't reach that new low and it goes up, well, everybody's happy that Bitcoin's going up, and they forget about the fact that you said it was too low. What a lot of YouTubers I know do, which is the same thing I'm going to do, but I'm just going to do it very transparent right in your face and show you what I'm referring to and what I'm looking at. There's a lot of these guys, they go to TradingView, and at TradingView, you have a lot of big TA guys that publish their charts, and they will go in and explain the reasoning behind what they're charting and get opinions. Like this one's only had 3 comments, but 600 views. This is one that a lot of people have been some people seem to make fun of this, but this is basically somebody blocking out the 4-year Bitcoin cycle on a logarithmic chart. And a lot of these guys, some of these guys are calling this stuff garbage or whatever, because, you've got this 4-year cycle, you've got the 4-year cycle that we're hopefully concluding now. And it's basically showing, the potential price gains over these 4-year cycles. Now, this one, to me, could this be accurate? I don't know. I personally think we're going to see a $350,000 Bitcoin a lot sooner than 12 years from now. I definitely think that. So this kind of goes out the window. I think, just the parabolic increase in price from one point to another. I mean, you're looking at like a 20x. I think typically from the lowest low to the highest high of any of these 4-year cycles, I think it's like a 20x increase in price before it goes back down, and then comes back up and so forth. So I think this guy's matrix are probably a little bit off. And you also have to understand that during this 4-year cycle, there was nobody using Bitcoin. Like there was just not a lot happening with Bitcoin outside of people, doing their stuff, very low key, low end stuff with it, buying 50,000 Bitcoin pizzas and such. And then, now we actually have some adoption and we have some general market interest. And so we've gone from, this high of, almost $1,000 to a high of 20, right? Now, if we were to take that same thing, take the high of 20,000, multiply that by 20, and there you go. I don't think it's going to take 12 years to get to that point. Now, if we look at some of this other stuff, this guy, he's basically showing the 2019 accumulation zone, which falls right around April, May. And he's basically calling this an accumulation zone, with the bear market officially being announced as being over in September. The BTC crosses over the 200 DMA. With January 2021 at the, he's calling January 2021 where we finally hit where we used to be at the all-time high. This is very unlikely to be the bottom. Way too much time to capitulate for the average Joe, just like the 6K level. So here's the thing, and here's another one. If you're ever just interested in reading and kind of learning about some of these TA guys on TradingView are sick. Some of these guys are really, really good, and they explain in very good detail. Well, this isn't very descriptive. Would like to see a quasi-inverse form here, finding support. A lot of people are hoping to find support around the 3,400 mark. Volume profile is not really there, unfortunately. The one universal thing that everybody agrees on right now is that volume just isn't there. Like, there's just not a lot of trading activity. Now, here's the thing. When you're talking about price action on exchanges, so I want to go into this. And this is all kind of related. So this is a little brief article. CBOE resubmits the VanEck SolidX Bitcoin ETF proposal for SEC approval. Now, the thing with this is because of the government shutdown, VanEck basically decided, well, we're going to go ahead and withdraw our application for our ETF because we don't want to be caught up in the middle of this this government shutdown activity. Not to mention that they know the SEC still has some reservations in terms of market manipulation and things like that going on. Now, a big part of crypto is speculation. Let's just face the facts. Whether it's a security or utility token or whatever, it's all still pretty much speculative. There just isn't enough usage going on right now yet to really merit strong, educational, predictive speculation, in my opinion. However, these guys have withdrawn their filing and then resubmitted it. But because of the way that this happened, apparently the SEC now starts again with 240 days to make a decision as to whether or not to approve or reject the proposal. My gut, now this doesn't say that, but my gut is when VanEck and SolidX, when they pulled out and they basically said, okay, SEC, we're going to go ahead and we're going to withdraw our application, provided we have some sort of agreement that says we're going to look at this long before this 240 days is up. That's my guess. I have to assume that they came to some sort of agreement in terms of what they're going to do, that they're not going to drag this out for the entirety like they did with this last time. I could be wrong, but I still believe that this VanEck ETF is going to be the first ETF approved. And I think when they do get approved, if the market is such that they are able to get approved, I feel like there are going to be several others that get approved as well. Now, that being said, market manipulation is one of the biggest issues that the SEC seems to have with something like a Bitcoin ETF investment vehicle, because they don't want investment money. Think about in the grand scheme of things, think about pension funds. Like, I just read an article recently, I think it was this morning, as a matter of fact. I wish I still had it to show you. A while back, I did a video about a $280,000 Bitcoin. Everybody thought I was out of my mind. And I basically, at the time, this was probably 6 months ago, but I pointed out what it would look like just to have 5% of the global pension funds. Nobody was even talking about pension funds yet. But I said, look, if you were to take just 5% of the global pension funds and put them into the crypto market through Bitcoin, you're looking at like a $1.3 million Bitcoin value, okay? Based off of how market capitalization is calculated, you're entering the market, so forth and so on. That's also assuming there are no, none of that is being purchased through over-the-counter trading. Now, with that being said, pump in 1 minute maybe. With that being said, there are pension funds now entering the crypto sphere. I saw something earlier. I really wish I had saved that. I read it and I was like, yeah, okay. I just kind of read it like, I figured, I knew it was coming. It was just a matter of time. And I see there being more. Now imagine what would happen if you managed a pension fund, okay? Pension money that people who have worked 20, 30 years are basically planning to live on and retire on. And then you invested in a cryptocurrency or some sort of market instrument that enabled you to put this pension money into the crypto sphere. And due to manipulation, you lost all your money. The SEC is not going to allow that shit to happen. And that is what I think their big concern is, because they know that when institutional money starts ushering into these ETFs and things, market manipulation, no, they do not want to put, it all makes a lot more sense to me, but they do not want to put the public's money, pensions, retirement funds, things like that, into the hands of those who are capable of manipulating the market. And that's what they want to see stopped. Now, when you say market manipulation, one of the things that is prevalent in the market, especially right now in this bear market, is wash trading. And I've been learning a lot more, obviously launching my own exchange. I've been learning a lot more about all of the different shady things that other exchanges are doing in the market today. Wash trading being one of the big ones right now. And what a lot of these exchanges are doing is wash trading is basically buying and selling cryptocurrency back and forth at zero. Like nobody's making money on either side, but it's increasing the overall volume of activity on that particular exchange for those particular coins. Okay. And there's one thing. So when I first started onto the idea of opening an exchange, of launching an exchange, I thought, what is going to be the biggest thing that would separate my exchange from every other exchange? Well, I shouldn't even say every other exchange, but I will say the majority of other exchanges out there. Somebody asked me this question today. I was talking to a company. I was talking to somebody who represents exchange relationships for a particular crypto company. I'm going to have her on this channel because she's great. And she told me, she goes, Jason, you know something? She's like, of all the exchanges that I've been talking to about building an exchange relationship for our company, one of our primary requirements to work with an exchange is you have to be willing to sign a paper saying you will not do any wash trading. She said of all the exchanges, and she's like, and I mean a lot, she's like, of all the exchanges, we have issued this letter that must be signed, only five were willing to sign it. Now, the other thing to this is when you're talking about launching an exchange, now, and this is the website for anybody curious, this is all it is right now. This is all it's up. You click this, and there's some information. You click this, it takes you to a Google form for a listing application. And then if you click this, it will take you to, you can subscribe to the newsletter and you'll be updated. There's a lot of stuff coming. Let me tell you, you want to get on this newsletter because you're going to be able to earn some free Crow coins. I'll get into that in a minute. There's going to be a lot of stuff popping here as we continue to push forward. So anyway, the idea is that wash trading is so prevalent because cryptocurrency companies that are looking into exchange relationships ultimately they know that they're going to have to pay a listing fee to get on an exchange. Exchanges, especially the bigger they are, they have overhead, they have a lot of expenses. Well, this is a report about some of the top 25 exchanges who show wash trading. Okay. Now these, I guess, are saying 100% real volume, 100% real volume. The exchanges on here, so of these, Bitfinex and Binance apparently are the only two that show 100% real volume. On this particular pair, BTC to USDT, BTC to USD. That's not necessarily to say that they're not doing it on for other pairs, but for the pairs tested, they're showing 100% real volume, which is fantastic. But what else does this stuff have in common? Well, Binance, it doesn't show Bittrex, and it doesn't show CoinBase. It doesn't show the majority of US-based exchanges. Why? Well, because I don't think US-based exchanges are wash trading. And this is the thing. A lot of these exchanges that you throw money into right now are not licensed anywhere, let alone licensed in the particular state you're in or where you're at or the country you're in and so forth. Somebody asked me, they said, Crow, why would you start an exchange? Man, there are hundreds of exchanges and there's more popping up all the time. And the simple answer is, by the time things get worked out, I believe that provided in this bear market, I do everything the right way, I believe I'll be one of few exchanges actually standing by the time all is said and done. I don't think a lot of these exchanges are script kiddies. A lot of these exchanges are operated by people that don't really have any business sense. They just kind of got in at a really good time. They're not doing what they need to do. They're not spending the money they need to spend ultimately for whether it's a broker dealer or money transmitter licenses in all these different states and countries and so forth. They don't have banking relationships that are helping to facilitate those trades or open them up in new markets. They're not doing any of that. They're basically operating. What's up, Rolex 23? They're basically operating willy-nilly, doing whatever they want. And because of that, they're operating in very shady ways. And, I told this gal today, I said, look, my company, I have a company, I have multiple companies at this point, but I don't want to, we talked about, do we want to go overseas? Do we want to file and do all this stuff in all these different countries and try to evade the SEC? We didn't have the conversation because we wanted to. We had the conversation because we know that it's what a lot of other people are doing, expecting to be able to save money and not be regulated. And I said, no, I want to be regulated. This has been my big thing. I want to play by the rules. And I don't understand why. I mean, yeah, I do understand it, because if you play by the rules, it makes it more difficult for you to turn a profit initially. I mean, it does. But if you want to last and you want to actually build a company where you don't have to feel like you're constantly looking over your shoulder, you just have to play by the rules. And that's exactly what we anticipate. Not anticipate, it's what we're doing. We're in the process of doing a lot of this stuff now. So, as I've basically gone through all kinds of different things in this little speech, wow, it's only 24 minutes. The grand scheme of things is, I feel that wash trading, I feel like some of these exchanges are going to be shut down. I do. I think that the SEC is going to start coming down on some of these exchanges. That's my guess. Maybe not. I could be wrong. Maybe these guys get a free pass for another year or two. I don't know what's going to happen. But what I do know is that when we launch our exchange, we want to make sure that everything that we're doing is legal, compliant. We don't have to worry about being shut down. We don't have to worry about, somebody calling us and saying, hey, we're just kind of checking in on you, seeing how you're doing, Mr. Exchange Operator. Do you have these documents and are you collecting this data? Yes, we are, sir. We can send it right over. No problem. Thank you. Continue on. That's what I'm hoping for. Some people tell me I'm crazy to think it's like that, or that, complying with everything, I don't know. There's a lot of conspiracies and a lot of people telling me, oh, you don't want to be regulated. You want to get away from that as far away as you can. You don't want to even be on their radar, all this other shit. And I'm like, look, anything I've ever done, if it involved any kind of government regulatory body, I've always had really good relationships with them, because it doesn't take long for them to realize that I am legitimate. Like, I am very sincere in my business practices. Good business, not greedy business. I don't care if I make $50 million a year. I don't care about that. What I care about is having a strong foundation for a good, honest business that will last the test of time, constantly innovating and evolving and changing with the times, and just having fun and marketing. And yeah, I expect to make money, but I don't need to make, as much as a lot of these big, huge exchanges are. And I want to provide a safe, compliant place for people to do business when it comes to crypto. So anyway, I think that, and the whole point of this all is I feel that a lot of these things, it's crazy complex. It's crazy complex for the various licensing. Money transmitter licenses aren't as complex or restricting as a broker-dealer license. But, it's still a huge process, and it's not cheap. It's really not cheap. So, and on top of that, we don't know 100% at this point in time. I'm working on so many different aspects of this. We plan to launch in April. And I think we will. I think the extent to where we launch in April is in question right now. There is a very good chance that we could end up launching live to 40 US states. I'll tell you that much. There's a chance that maybe we only launch in 10. And some international markets. We are still sorting through a lot of this stuff. However, I believe that personally, there is not a lot of Bitcoin volume. There's not a lot of volume right now across the board. I feel that there isn't a lot of volume because nobody is excited enough about Bitcoin right now and its potential to turn around to buy more or to buy into it. And the same is, a lot of people are thinking, I don't really think that it's going much lower, so there's no point in selling. And I think we're reaching this point. Call me crazy, I could be wrong. I don't know 100%. But do I think that Bitcoin is going to crash from here? Like some people call, is it going to hit $2,000? I do not think so. I could be wrong, but I do not think we're going to see a $2,000 Bitcoin. And if there were any chance of that happening, I believe that it would be super, super quick. I just think it would be a flash candle and it'd be done. And just to be like, oh, told you so. The problem that I have is that some people that are out there with some power, they like to keep trying to push the price of Bitcoin down. They're Bitcoin maximalists. This is all they want. They want to accumulate as much as they can, and they keep using their popular, like their social communities and things like that to continue like kind of inspiring people to sell off their positions. It's going to go lower. We're going to see $1,000. We're going to see $2,000. And they keep trying to create this self-fulfilling prophecy, driving the price down. And, I don't even want to see those people succeed. I don't even want to see these, not even just for the price of Bitcoin, but just the general practice of that bothers me. When you're constantly telling everybody it's going lower, it's going to go lower. If you get people to sell out of their positions at $4,000 by convincing them the price is going to go to $2,000, we might go to $3,000, but then it's going to spike back up. And when it spikes back up, a lot of those people that are being told to sell because it's going to go lower are going to lose money. And I don't like that. There is no real true way that you can predict with 100% accuracy, even 60% accuracy, in my opinion, which direction the market's going to go. You just can't. The only way somebody could predict the market 100% is if they had the power to control it. And there are some people out there with the power to control it right now. With volume so low and prices where they're at, it wouldn't be that difficult for somebody to send Bitcoin up $1,000 overnight. I don't think it would be that difficult at all, really. Or down for that matter, if they have that kind of volume to sell. So let's take a look at chat and see what some of your guys' thoughts are based on all that good stuff. I'll leave that up now just so that people can see it. Let me scroll up a little bit. Busy Bee, what's up? The early bird catches the worm. Late in the UK. Big hello from Ireland. What's up? Do you think Bart Simpson will form? I couldn't tell you. What's up from Chicago? How you doing? Cincinnati, Ohio. Crow for the new Batman movie. I'll watch that. That would be funny. I'd make one giant Batman. Do one thing every day that scares you. Oh, I'm pretty sure I got that covered. Honestly, all of this stuff scares me. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I feel the same fears that everyone else. I mean, when I think of the SEC, you know, I think of this huge government-funded, you know, powerhouse of people smarter than me who can just crush you in your life and your dreams and everything on a whim. I mean, you know, and it's just like everybody has their own motives. Everybody has their own agenda. You know, it's like, is I don't know. I mean, it's scary anytime you go into something like this. I don't care if I make millions of dollars. I really don't care. Neither do my partners. That's really not why we're doing this. We just want to make a living, and we want to just provide something that people can rely on and trust. And that's really what we're doing. And I truly believe that, you know, as I can, like, how do I explain this? I don't want to sound cocky, but I think especially people that talk business with me, like, you know, YouTube is one thing, and I'm very transparent and very blunt. But I feel like there's always this question in people's head, like, I wonder what he's really like. You know, like, I wonder how does he really do business? And then when I'm doing business with people are like, you know, this is great. Like, I show people, like, no, this shit really is, this is really me. Like, this is how I operate. I don't throw caution to the wind. I don't screw anybody. I'm very, I don't want to say pliable, but I like to make sure that everybody is happy. I don't, you know, there's just no reason to, like, good business, not greedy business. That's the only thing that I can say. And it's like, I feel that like when I was in the music business, I got a lot of opportunities because of the way I operated. You know, I wasn't some shady asshole, this cocky dude. I was just a grunt. I'm just a grunt. I'm a grunt that understands that there are rules and laws for a reason. And that if you have good intentions, those rules and laws should not hurt you in any way. And I believe that it's the people that are constantly trying to cut corners, screw people, make a quick buck, you know, use the rules and the laws and whatever to like suit them in a way that somehow screws other people at the same time. Those are the people that the SEC will ruin their lives. Like, and honestly, I feel like those people deserve it. I mean, to be quite frank. So, I mean, you know, we'll see. But I already have a relationship. I have a couple relationships that have opened up for me already with this exchange just because I've been putting it out there, talking to some people. And, you know, when people understand, like, what this is about and how we're going about it, people are perking up. And people are like, I want to get involved. You know, the company that I talked to today, it sounds already like we were probably going to end up working together. They're probably going to be listed. It is a coin that I've talked about many times. I've had interviews with their CEO and founder. And there's a lot of opportunity there. And I think it'll be a very solid, mutually beneficial relationship. I just have to make the numbers work. And I'm actually going to be working on all that this week. finalizing the listing brochure. I want universal trading, not just universal trading fees, but universal listing fees. We're going to have 3 tiers based off of projects. And there's going to be a metric system in place for projects that approach. If your metrics give you this score, this is your listing fee. If your project is this score, that's your listing fee. And it's the same across the board. You fit where you fit. And that's it. And that's all there is to it. Bitcoin soon to break out. Well, let's take a look at this since it's the topic of discussion. If I can, where are my notifications? All right, well, I don't know what happened to that. Looked like a good article. Somebody said Bitcoin soon to break out. So let's take a look at chat again real quick, see if you guys have any questions on anything. This is only a 35-minute video. I felt like I had a whole bunch of stuff to get off my chest, but every time I go live, if I don't leave myself notes, let me see. Oh yeah, on this, you guys are going to notice there's no SSL yet. That should probably happen tomorrow. That'll be live with the SSL. I got a premium SSL, and like there's no data really changing hands anyway. This goes to MailChimp and this goes to Google. So, but the wow, excuse me. The SSL will be coming up, and it'll have the company name and all that stuff. Those are expensive, man. Loving that hat. Jason all over again, love. Thanks, Jack Martin. Yeah, and I forgot, I did use your picture as the thumbnail for the other video. Because I was going to be talking about some fans. This is something that I want to do. I'm going to start pulling people out of my Telegram group, my Telegram channel group. I'm just going to post a link. Every once in a while, I'm going to post the Zoom link, and whoever shows up on my Zoom is going to be who we're going to hang out. We're just going to hang out. We're going to talk crypto. And so, but I want to make sure, and I will make sure that I preface this now. You have to have a good video feed and you have to have a good audio feed, or I'll just have to tell you, like, your feed is bad. We'll have to do this another time and we'll let some other people on. But I would like to do that at least once a week if I can. I'm telling you, man, my weeks, my days have been flying by so fast. I feel like I can't physically catch up. There's just so much to do. Like tonight, I'm taking a break. I've been forcing myself to get more into gaming just because it's the only thing. And it's an RPG game called Starfinder. And for those of you that are like hardcore nerds, so I love the idea. This is like a character portfolio thing that I picked up. I just want to play an RPG game, like a pen and paper, like a D&D type game, just because I never really have. And I just want to. And this game is basically by the same company that created Pathfinder, and but it's like 2,000 years ahead of where Pathfinder was. And like you create your character in a whole bunch of different ways. When I was a kid, I used to sit around with core rule books of D&D and just different games and just create characters, even though I never played the game. And so it's like that's just some nerdy stuff that I do. And I'm doing this. This is my Cricks. You can't even tell what the hell that is on the box. But I just got like a whole bunch of Crick stuff. I got a bunch of new paints in this bag. I mean, that's pretty much what I'm up to, man. I'm like working, and then I try to take a break to just paint models and listen to Joe Rogan or listen to, typically I listen to Joe Rogan at night, and I'm like just down here working real late. And then I go upstairs and I check emails again before I go to bed. And then I might play a little Magic the Gathering Arena right before I go to sleep. Then I wake up and rinse and repeat. Rules, right thing to do for everyone involved. Yeah. I'm actually working on something right now that that will ensure. Well, I don't want to say. I'm not going to say anything yet. I'll just know that I'm trying to get things situated to really take care of the people that use this exchange. One of the big things that I am concerned with, so the cost of running an exchange is not like we're probably going to have a monthly nut of like a minimum of 25 grand a month. So that's really kind of scary in this bear market, knowing that the majority of the exchange volume that's going on right now is all fake. It's like you don't really have any real idea as to what you could expect to make if you launch an exchange that people start really learning to trust and use for different things, you know, there's an opportunity to have our own like debit card. Oh, I will tell you guys this. This is something that I can say. Well, as far as like technical questions about the exchange, I'll never answer anything like where it's hosted, how it. That would just be stupid. I would never. I'm not going to tell you. We're gonna host the whole exchange on a pop can and some string. That'll probably be the most secure way. But the Crow coin is coming. It's not going to be, I mean, it's not going to be what I had always wanted. It's not going to be a proof of stake coin. It sends money to charity, that sort of thing. I've talked to so many different developers, and it would just be a huge undertaking to do the Crow coin the way I'd originally intended. What we are going to create the Crow coin for is as a loyalty token. That's all it is. It's going to be a loyalty token. You're going to be able to pay for 50% of your trading fees on the crowsnestx.com exchange with the Crow coin. And the one thing that I am working on now is rather than sell the Crow coin on the exchange, at least for maybe the first year, this might be how we do this. Like from the launch date, 1 full year, the only way you're going to be able to get Crow coins is to help with marketing the exchange through social media or whatever, contests that we have, or by buying them from somebody who has them because they help market the exchange on social media. I think that's probably going to be one of the most powerful ways to inspire people to help. You know, retweeting things, posting on Instagram. We're going to have some particular things for like higher end influencers with large followings. And because I feel like if we try to incentivize people to help spread the word about the exchange, you know, in exchange for Crow coins, but then we're selling them ourselves from a supply that we could create an infinite supply of, right? There's really not much incentive there. Like who would care? Who cares about trying to get some coins when we could just, you know, release a whole batch of them willy-nilly and just dilute the value of the ones that are out there? And so I figure for at least the first year, that may be the approach we take to issuing Crow coins to people and getting those out there. So let's see here. Jason, can you recommend a good HGH supplement? Feeling slow these days. Go get your testosterone checked, obviously. Human growth hormone I've never tried. Oh, you know what? I take that back. I think there was something that I tried. It didn't do anything for me. I don't think it was a human growth hormone. It was something that was supposed to induce the production of it, and it just didn't seem to do much. So I stopped taking it. Get your testosterone checked. That's probably the biggest thing. That's probably a bigger deal for you than the growth hormone. Jason, you are a dreamer, my friend. Very inspirational. Oh, well, thank you. You know, I don't even necessarily think that it's because I'm a dreamer. I used to think I was a dreamer. I don't think it's that I'm a dreamer. I think it's that I just feel like it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what you have. It doesn't even matter necessarily how smart you are, provided you're willing to put in the work. You can accomplish anything that you want to accomplish. I mean, people that, it's like I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, God, I wish I could lose 30 pounds. I wish I could lose 20 pounds. I wish I could lose weight. I really need to lose weight. I could. It's not every time I say I wish I could lose 30 pounds, I'm really saying I wish 30 pounds would just fall off of my fat ass without me having to work for it. There are some things that I'm willing to work for, and there are some things that are just really difficult. You know, I'll work all day when it comes to numbers and business and marketing and whatever. I'll do that stuff all day. What I have a hard time working for is standing somewhere, staring at a mirror, lifting inanimate objects that are really heavy. And that's just, That's just me. I like my face has been getting a little fatter again because I can tell when I'm losing weight and I'm in a down cycle. A bunch of people are like, "Hey, Crow, you losing weight? Your face is getting thin." And then when I'm gaining weight, nobody says shit. So, I mean, for whatever reason, I'm at 295. So I've gained 5 pounds in the past month. But when I gain 5 pounds, it's all in my face and in my belly. Robert Beatles, Monarch Wallet, loving it. Beatles is awesome too. Yeah. Yeah, Beatles is cool. And as a matter of fact, from what I don't even know if that's public knowledge yet, so I can't say anything. Beatles is always on top of it, man. I will say, like, I don't even know if I have my Monarch tokens yet, but I will say that the dude is always building relationships. Oh, Bitcoin's up 6%. Cardano, wait a minute. We're seeing a really decent pump here. Cardano up 12%. Ethereum up 16%. Damn it. Let me take a look at this. $36.31. Ethereum up, okay. Litecoin's up 30 freaking percent. The Z. Stellar down, Tron's down. Cardano up 11%. It's over 4 cents again. This is what I don't like to see, though. I don't like to see over a 7-day period, Ethereum has gone up 15% and Cardano is only up 11%. Typically, I like to see that in reverse. So, and I'm sure that it will be, but it's a matter of how long. That's really interesting. Crow, your coins. What platform are you using for Crow coin? It will be an ERC20 token. Criminal exchanges are on the way out. You'll do great, Crow. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I'm really hoping, man. This is such a huge undertaking. I'd be lying if I didn't say I mean, it's a part of why I'm struggling with sleep, because I just don't want to screw up. To the point where I'm like, I even talked to my partner last night and I'm like, man, you know, there's this and there's this option and we could do it this way, we could do it that way. If we do it this way, it's this much more money. If we do it this way, it's less money, but it'll take more time. And I'm like going crazy. He's like, dude, calm down. He's like, it'll be fine. It'll work out. Like my boy, man, he's just, I don't know. He's like my rock when I need it. He's always joking with me about all kinds of dumb stuff, which is always funny. But I feel like, you know, just goddamn, he's probably the best dude I know. The most shit coins aren't flushed out yet. Any thoughts about that? You know, as far as the coins that are going to be sticking around long term, I'm going to see. I think the coins that are most likely to be sticking around long term are either already have high transactional usage, okay, which you can track with a lot of the sites I've shown in previous videos, or they're still in a developmental phase that you can track on GitHub, and you can see how active they are in their GitHub commits. Have they been tearing off and petering out over the past 6 months, or have they been ramping up, getting things ready for something? There are a lot of different ways that you can kind of get an idea as to what projects are likely going to rise to the top by the time the market starts to turn around. You know, I will also say, though, that a shitcoin today could be a pot of gold tomorrow. It just all depends on what the public perception of that coin is, what its use case is, what it's going to be used for. I personally believe that we're going to start seeing a switch, and I talked about this in the last video that I went live. I can't even remember when that was. It feels like it could have been a week or two ago, but I think it was just days. But just the difference between STOs, security tokens, and utility tokens. I think that the security tokens are going to be the majority of where the majority of the institutional money goes into with a lot of these funds and things. And I think the utility tokens are going to be traded and speculated on like penny stocks for non-accredited investors. And that's the one thing, like with Crow's Nest X, we're only going to trade utility tokens. I'm not even going to touch securities. And there are, nobody really knows 100% really which coins are what. But, like, I'm pretty sure, as I understand it, Bittrex operates under money transmitter licenses. They're only trading what they believe to be legally utility tokens. They're not in the business of trading securities. I think Kraken, if I'm not mistaken, is very similar. So, it all depends. Like, how was the ICO handled, or did they ICO? There are a lot of different metrics, and so I'm gonna be working on a lot of that stuff. I mean, and that's the other thing too. I don't want 500 different tokens on my exchange. I'm happy to have like a top 50, of projects, and that's the thing. When I launch my exchange, I'm going to be talking a lot more about the projects on my exchange. I'm going to be talking about, because if it's on my exchange, I probably dig it somehow. You know what I mean? And because the listing fees are the same pretty much for everybody, it's not like, oh well, I let these guys on because they paid me. Well, anybody that comes on is going to pay a listing fee. I mean, it's just going to be how it is. There are too many bills to pay. So why not the Cardano blockchain? Because, to be quite frank with you, I could create an ERC20 token myself right now in about 30 minutes and it do everything that I want it to do. And, I've tried talking to Charles a couple times over the past month, like finding out about ChainY. He hasn't responded about anything. So I don't know what's up. I mean, it's like 1 minute, everything's super cool. And then the next minute, like, he doesn't even respond to me. So I don't even know. It doesn't take away from the fact that I still love the project. I love Cardano, of course. But it's like, I'm not a developer, and I don't even know. I think they just recently, if I'm not mistaken, launched the ability for people to launch projects on the Cardano blockchain, but I don't even think they have yet. I'd have to double check on that. Why don't you build your own coin on Cardano? Well, again, answered, but I would love to have, but it's a lot more difficult. It's a lot more expensive. I mean, it changes a lot of things, believe it or not. There's a lot more to than, oh, well, I'm just going to create this coin on the Cardano blockchain. It's just, there's a lot more to it than that. Streamer, no, it's vision. Hopefully. Great question, Crypto Nomad. Why not do it on Cardano? Wouldn't that help both sides? I would love to have Cardano on the exchange. I mean, obviously I want to, but here's the thing, and this is one thing that everybody's I think you're gonna realize, that there is a difference between, like, I keep things very separate in my life. I can love Cardano. Doesn't mean I'm gonna list them on my exchange. I'm not saying I wouldn't. I'm just saying that I'm not. Just because Cardano is my favorite project doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to use it for everything that I do. You know what I mean? There may be a project that I don't personally appreciate that much, but I think that their use cases there, and they have a market, and that they're worthwhile in listing, and I will list them, even though I don't necessarily like them personally. If the public does, if I believe it has promise or it's going somewhere, I'll still list them. I take my personal opinions out of it. It's my personal opinions don't necessarily matter when it comes to the greater good, if that makes sense. And vice versa. It's not. I think you guys will understand more moving forward, like kind of how I think about certain things, and that's one of them. Will your exchange accept a debit card? I will tell you that we are 50-50 on that right now. There's a very good chance. There is a very good chance we could have our own debit card. And keep in mind, I'm not doing this as an ICO. There's not going to be any ICO. We're not trying to get crowdfunding money from everybody. We're doing this all on our own. The only thing that I'm going to ask of everybody is that you help spread the word. I mean, that's the biggest thing. And then use it. Crypto Crow, get some sleep. Are we headed to 33K? I sure hope so. But I do believe that it's probably going to take 9 months to 9 months to a year from now before we see Bitcoin at its all-time high. Hey Crow, why don't you create your coin on the card? You're a funny SOB. ADA is front and center in the crypto storm. TRX, BTT, XRP are bullet trains. Hit the like button. Love from Tanzania. Very cool. The lag on this chat. Well, the lag is intentionally slower. Otherwise, it looks like a freaking, just a bullet train. Bro, have you looked into Gods Unchained? I did actually look at that. I thought it actually looked really cool, but just because of security and how difficult it is for me right now to utilize crypto for stuff, it's not feasible for me. Will Aquatos work on the exchange at launch? That's a very good question. I expect it to, because a lot of these things are API driven. So they're gonna be, yeah, it should definitely work. The only thing is you're only going to be able to trade the coins on Aquatos that are on the exchange. So if you're wanting to use the Aquatos bot, you'll be able to, but you're going to have to do that with just the coins that are available on Crow's Nest X at the time. So, I mean, I have a list of like 250 coins or tokens rather, that have some potential. I'd like to narrow that down. And I mean, realistically, I would like to launch with 20 pairs, or not 20 pairs, but 20 tokens. 20 to 30 would be perfect. It would be fine for me. And then focus on building up the usage of the exchange and then grow from there. But I don't ever really want to have, like, you can have, 30 different tokens, and from those 30 tokens have a lot of pairs, a lot of trading pairs. I'd love to have Cardano as a base pair, to be quite frank with you, but I don't think they'd ever go for it, because it just wouldn't be difficult, or it wouldn't be easy to do, and there'd be expenses, and I wouldn't be able to. Yes, it is cold here. So, hour-long video, I mean, yeah, there we go. That is that. I will read this real quick. I forgot to read this. This is like a little section. We expect the final wave of desperation to take us to the mid to high 2000s before the market starts the recovery. We could be wrong, of course. And until the 2018 low is taken out, it has not been revisited yet, there is a possibility that the sell-off is done, Kelly explained, further adding that a short covering could easily take Bitcoin to $4,030 to $4,300 cluster of previous highs, or even $5,600 to $6,000 support level that has become resistance. So, in a very long-winded way, nobody has a clue. So, I think we're looking good, though. Don't forget to list ETN. It's possible. I mean, these companies are going to have to. Here's the thing: like, I'm not going to be able to list anybody if they don't contact me. So once I have everything finalized, we're going to try and initiate contact with everybody. We're going to have a way. I'm going to have to do a video chat with everybody, because I know that with this getting out, there are going to be people all over the place trying to impersonate me, acting like they're me, and hey, send me some money and we'll list you on this exchange and all that. If I don't do a live video chat with representatives from your company, or somebody who, because I have a small group of people that are going to be helping me facilitate some of these relationships, and I'll probably announce them in an upcoming video so that people can reference that. But no deal will be done on my exchange without me doing a live video chat with the parties that be. That's just how it's going to be. That way everybody knows that it's actually me and not some schmuck in some other country pretending to be me trying to snipe people's cash. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. I'm going to get something else to eat, and I'm going to try to get some more stuff done and maybe go to bed early. But until next time, grow your coins, guys, and I'll see you again.